Hey everybody, PatBenage here, the evolution coach, creator of the 6-week shift, the inner path, and this author of this inspirational blog, SoulTalk. Welcome. This is comes out on Sunday, right after Thanksgiving. So, what else could I talk about but gratitude? And one of the things that came to me this week in thinking about all of the things that I'm thankful for, and on Thanksgiving Day I wrote down a list of things that I am personally thankful for, and then this morning, as I was doing my contemplation, I thought, just the process of separating out that which I'm thankful for is, in a way, separating out those things that I'm not thankful for. And truly, and I don't live this 100% of the time, but when I'm in this space of peace and centeredness in my truth, I'm thankful for everything. For everything. There's not a moment, there's not an experience, there's not anything about my life that I don't feel gratitude for. And I think the way that I've reached that moment, and I would call it, when I'm in that place where I'm able to actually see that way, I would call that sort of a state of grace. The way that I've been able to achieve that is by doing just a lot of inner work. I mean, there's no shortcut to that. I've seen a lot of people who have attempted shortcuts in trying to be thankful for all kinds of things and try to generate that, because we can, to a degree, we can generate that instant feeling of gratitude. But I'm just suggesting that the way to be in gratitude, the way to be in that state of grace, is to do this inner work that is about knowing myself, knowing my life experience in a way that has a greater understanding of the place that everything, all of these experiences hold within the overall experience. So, if you have been with me long enough and you've experienced my soul talk enough, you might be aware that I identified 7 stages in personal evolution that we go through. It starts with understanding, acceptance, trust, honesty, authenticity, I call integrity, consciousness, connection, and love. And those are the 7 stages that I see in the process of personal evolution, where we have to move through those in various aspects of our lives and in the totality of our life. And we don't often get through them, all 7 stages, in any aspect. But if we can, that's fantastic. But a lot of people try to jump into gratitude without having gone through the steps that will get you there. And so let me back up just a minute. That itemizing what I'm grateful for, what I'm thankful for, when I do that, I exclude things from that list. And excluding those things is a resisting gratitude about those. So there's resistance there. And what I know about resistance is that whatever I resist persists. Resistance holds it into my experience and binds me to that. And the only way to break that bond is through acceptance. And acceptance can only be accomplished through understanding. So understanding's at the foundation of this. And first, to understand, we have to go within. So hence all of the inner work that has to be done. Because the understanding comes from within. It comes from my understanding of my experience and how that has affected me and how I've changed or evolved through that process. So I have to get the understanding first. And the understanding will lead to an acceptance. Because if I truly understand any aspect of my life, any experience in my life, if I truly understand it, it will lead me to a place of acceptance for that. Because even those moments that we might identify as our worst moments, when my mom died when I was 7, that moment is something that certainly initially we resist. I did. I resisted that. I didn't want to accept that. I wanted to be angry about that. I chose to be angry and sad and upset about that experience. And that reaction to that experience led me eventually into depression, deep depression. But that depression led me to a place where I had the ability to have compassion. It triggered and it sparked compassion within me for others who went through difficult times. And it also, through that compassion and through that, in my depression, it also showed me my darkest side. It showed me the shadow, and I learned to move past that. I learned to overcome that and rise above that shadow, and I learned that I was more than just that. And so I learned that I had strength. I found courage to move forward. And all of that led me to become the person that I am today. So in that full understanding of that experience, and obviously there's more to it than that, but that's the basics of it. When I learned to understand that more fully, I was actually able to have gratitude for the passing of my mom. And I'm able to get, there's more to it, because I have to become able to get through the idea that mom suffered. And so I don't want to be happy or grateful for her suffering, except that what I understand is that served her in some way. I don't know what that was. I don't know what her karma was that created that for her. I don't know why she had to experience that. That's her thing. It's not mine. All I know is that she came into my life and she gave me this gift that transformed me, that allowed me to become something greater than I could have become without it. And so I have gratitude for that. That doesn't mean I'm happy for the suffering. It doesn't mean that. But it means I'm thankful for the gift that it brought me. And so it's understanding and acceptance that allow me to feel gratitude. And when I've been able to experience gratitude for those moments that are the most difficult, most challenging, most upsetting moments in my life, then I have that much more gratitude for everything else. I just become grateful for life itself, for who I am. And it's impossible for me to explain in words what that feels like. It's something that you have to experience. You have to experience for yourself. And the truth is you can. No matter how difficult life has been, no matter how far from that you are right now, you can get there. It's possible. If I could, from where I was, 16 years ago now, "16 years and 2 days ago, I was at the bottom. I tried to end my life. November 24th, 2000. No, 17 years ago. November 24th, 1999. That 17 years ago, I was at the bottom. I had no ability to see a way out. And so I tried to end my life. And that moment woke me up. That moment opened my eyes, opened my heart, opened me up to the possibility that something more could happen. Because I didn't have a choice. I still had the choice to end my life, but I decided after that, because of my kids, that was no longer an option for me. And so I had to decide, I had to do something else. I had to find another way. And so I'm grateful for that moment, for that moment when I was at the lowest point in my life, because it freed me up. It led me to this moment and to the next. And so I'm just thankful for everything. For everything. All of it. All of it. Like I said, I'm not in this state of grace every moment of every day. But that's my goal. That's my goal. And whether it's your goal or not, it's a possibility for you. And one of the things that I've had a lot of people ask me about, or not complain about, but just have challenge with, is to, I'm always saying, go within, look within. And a lot of people, maybe you, have trouble with that. They don't know what that really means. Or they try it and nothing seems to happen. And it gets frustrating. And so one of the things that I thought I'd do as a thank you to everybody is just to offer you just a little technique that I use, that I started with. a few years ago, and it's been so transformative for me. And I talk about this a lot, to center yourself in your third eye. And the third eye is, you can call it the mind's eye. You know, when you close your eyes, you're there. But it's the mind and soul that are locked together at that point. And so it's like it's the gateway to soul, to heaven. The kingdom of heaven lies within. That's the doorway. That's the doorway. So what I would like you to do, if it's something that is of interest to you, just when you close your eyes and when you do this, and you're just going to bring your attention right here, just right here, just above your eyes, right in the center of your forehead, and don't try to focus, a lot of energy there. Don't try to, be real stern and heavy about it. Just relax, close your eyes, allow your attention to stay right there. And it'll wander, but just bring it back. Just bring it back. And so as you're doing that, another technique, and I was never one for chanting, and I'm still not a big chanter, but one of the things that I discovered, that I was taught, is that, if you pick a word that has power and you chant that, it gives your mind something to attach itself to. And so if you bring your attention here and you give your mind a chant, that will quiet the mind and it will focus your attention in that spot. And the word that I recommend is HU, H-U. And many of you probably aren't familiar with that, but that word is a very ancient word in a variety of different cultures of God. Or in Egyptian culture, it's considered by some aspects as the first word, the first word of creation. And so it's a very powerful word. It's a Sufi name for God. It's just powerful, and it will automatically draw your attention, your soul's attention here, and focus it. So what I just recommend as a technique to go within is to just, if you can silently chant, that's perfect. That's what I do. But if you want to softly chant HU over and over until you feel yourself really relaxed and centered in this spot with your attention there. And then once you've gotten to that point, stop the chanting and ask the question. Whatever question that you have, ask. And then listen. And just listen. One of the things that I found about offering, you bringing your attention to the third eye, is that it brings your focus there, and it activates your soul's sight, which is called in Sanskrit the Nirat of soul, N-I-R-A-T, Nirat, and that's your soul's visual quality. And as you bring that your attention there, and as you bring your focus there, and then you ask the question and you keep your attention there, it also unlocks soul's hearing capacity, which is called the Surat, S-U-R-A-T, Surat. And so you're activating your soul's eye, and your soul's ear, so that you can now listen and hear whatever's coming through from your higher self, your highest self, your source. So you might say it kind of opens up that crown chakra a little bit. But that's the technique that I use, and I highly recommend it if it's something that you're having any challenge with going within. To utilize that technique, and if you do that consistently, a consistent practice, and work at it, I think you'll find that it's a very valuable tool. And when you're doing the chant initially, I would say just, a few minutes, 3 to 5, maybe no more than maybe 8 or 10 minutes. Okay, if you're doing it longer than that, it feels like, to me, it's become a distraction. So just relax, get into it, and do that. So I just wanted to offer you that little technique. I hope that it's helpful for you. If you're seeking to go within and find that inner knowing, that inner understanding, and which can lead you to acceptance and gratitude and beyond. So thank you so much. I again appreciate you guys enormously, beyond what I can tell you, and everything else in life. So thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, or whatever you celebrate, and we'll see you next week. Remember, live life from the inside out.